I, I've realized after playing with AI for so long, for every day, I've realized it's like talking to a very smart baby.
Very
With
smart baby.
yeah, the baby has knowledge of all the world. It knows how to do user research and everything. But you have to be smarter in a way where you have to know where you have to go. So you have to
Uh-huh.
know the goal and you have to know what the end result has to be, and then you have to persuade AI to get you there. So it's
hmm
super. Basically, it's like talking to a smart baby in a way. You have to tell them. It's super helpful if you tell the AI to go step by step. So
hmm
first is the introduction. You are a
hmm
metallurgical
Yeah.
baby,
So
and
first one was getting the context. Yep. Setting
setting
the
the content.
context,
And your
setting the
step,
roles. Yep.
yeah, your job is to get me there.
hmm
Step one to get you there is do this. Once you have
hmm
done this, do step B. And once you've
hmm
gotten step B, give me step C. And then
hmm
come down to, hey, while you're doing, and then you try a lot of these things a
hmm
few times. There's a trial and error, not gonna lie, which can be super frustrating at times, but it's very rewarding also. And be like, hey, don't do this and don't do
Right.
that. And
So you
play
basically
around.
in the next prompt, you're like, you did this in the past. Now don't do that. Don't take a shortcut. Do this. Okay.
It's in the same prompt. So you got a context, tell them what to do, step 1, 2, 3. But
hmm
while performing these steps, don't do ABC also. Writing good prompt is actual design work. But I also believe, and I'll come to that in a second.
hmm
But I
hmm
also believe there are jobs out there, you know, about you can apparently become prompt engineers now and get paid a lot. It's
You're like,
something that I not really believe right now. I believe like any designer, any user researchers, any designer, any capable user researcher is well capable of becoming this prompt engineer. And not just that, I
Mhm.
feel it will or it has already become a primary job requirement of every designer and a researcher, because
Wow.
you have to bring AI
Wow.
into your work. Then you have to know how to write a good prompt. You
That's
don't want to
crazy.
rely on a
Okay.
prompt engineer to come and work and give you
Huh.
that part of design.
Because prompt engineering is communication. It's communicating
Communication.
exactly what you want in
Yeah.
the exact right words. And that is a job of everybody, especially I'm a true believer in designers and especially and researchers, like the entire product profession being a profession of communicating, right? Like our user interface, our what's written on the button, the text, our documentation, everything is communicating with our users, what we want them to do, or the journey that we want them to. So it's at its core, being a designer is being able to communicate and being able to communicate effectively with your user,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, to put it, I don't know how many UX designers are here with us today, but if you have to, in
A
basic
lot of them,
terms,
yeah.
step A to step B, and you're doing the design work, and you're replacing the whole step one, 8.1 and 2 and 3 with AI, and you basically essentially turning the step 1, 2, 3 to a prompt. And so it comes on, it comes on an onus of a designer to write those from themselves. The biggest writer's block is like an empty page. When you have the ultimate freedom to ask anything, then you don't have any freedom at all,
Right.
because there's so many things you can do about it. So
hmm
I think it is mostly because it has something to do with the cinematic nature of talking to the AI. We've been seeing this, since the Star Wars days, Star Trek days, this
hmm
idea of talking to the AI, which is now possible.
hmm
Um, but I do feel it is a sort of a lazy solution. It's super raw. It's super um, exposing, if I
hmm
may. Um, but the world, and it all comes down to the designers who are working with the AI. The world, I don't think this is the ideal solution. It has to be a mixture, and a designer would have to know how to truly use AI as a tool to, again, do something, to get something done.
Tell me a little bit. Give me a few ideas of how you think anybody can use off-the-shelf software for doing that.
In analysis part, what everybody should know is the smaller the context, the smaller the data that you're performing the AI task on, the better your analysis gets. So if you're increasing the context, the results might go down also. So you have to take care of the context in a way. Also the trust factor where it comes in. You don't know how it's calculating anything, where the data is coming from, where the goal is coming from. So smaller, if you're working on a few files, it's gonna give you mind-blowing results. But if you're working on like thousands of files, while it is super powerful.
How might AI end the need of graphical UI? There is no longer an internet destination. AI delivers back to us a bespoke experience. How does that radically change the role of a UX professional? That's a great question. Thank you, Nancy. So is there a completely new model of getting information? Is there a completely new way in which we will get and process information?
I think it is highly possible. It's very possible. I don't think the conversational UI will be the end goal here. It is, I believe this is just the beginning of it. And it's just because we don't know anything better, we're trying to do this. And for the time being, we just, as designers, we need to concentrate on it's almost so difficult to take out the bad part of GUI already. There's so many mistakes we do as designers, and most of the softwares we build are fairly difficult to use. And bringing on top of that conversational UI and thinking it would solve all our problems, that's not going to happen. So we'll have to bring best of both worlds. Take the best thing that GUI has provided and overlap with the AI and even conversationally. That's going to be a good magical interface for at least foreseeable future. And I don't know how things are going to change like 2 years, 3 years down the lane, but I think that would be the magical component for for next few years for sure.
You don't think graphical UIs are going away, do you?
Not necessarily in next few years for sure. Yeah, I think they have given us still a lot, and there's still people who are still trying to make sense of the GUI in itself. There's still so many bad things about the GUI, but a lot of it works well also. And you overlap with well-done prompt engineering and using AI as a proper tool. A lot of things can be done using that.